Winter is here, so is the snow, and I am in the mood for some cozy vibes. We will be transforming this snowy plains into a cozy homestead to keep us snug and warm through the winter. Using the Snowy Spirits mod adds in some fun transportation along with some cute decor options, and the Snuffles mod adds in the fluffiest little guys roaming the snowy plains. Check out the description for all of the mods and the seed. My name is Miney, and if you like fun and cozy 100 days content and SMP content, check out my channel for more. Let's get started. Let's call this world Winter Plains because it's winter time on the plains and we're setting it to single biome Snowy Plains. Here we go. I did add a mod to help me track days, so every day at dawn the day will pop up with a little ticker. And here we are, snowy plains. Oh my goodness, I'm already seeing one of the surprises in this world. This is the Snuffle from the Snuffles mod. It's an adorable, fluffy mod that has a big tongue, and they are so cute, like a woolly lick-a-tongue. We will definitely be doing more with them later. Ooh, there's a village. Let's go steal their stuff. I also spy an igloo. There might be a surprise there as well. But first, looting time. I definitely want all these potatoes, and I'll have this composter too. So in a regular snowy biome, the only animals that spawn are rabbits and polar bears. But in a village, there's a chance to get pigs, cows, and sheep, so that will definitely be helpful later. I looted the whole village and was surprised to see all these mushrooms everywhere. Is that normal? Now let's go check out that igloo. Ooh, there it is. It's there. It's the sled from the Snowy Spirits mod. They spawn next to igloos and are rideable like a boat. Look at us go. The nice part is that they can go on snow as well as ice and go uphill. A little slowly, but still. And look at the downhill. It's so fun. Okay. Oh, this is loot from the sled. So it has the possibility to spawn with a chest and full of loot, and it must just be invisible. Like it must be some sort of bug. That's so funny. I think this might be a nice spot to start our base. It's a little flat with some hills around us. So I set up my stuff and got started punching trees. My plan for my first build is a cozy cabin, and so we'll need lots of spruce. I am replanting so the landscape doesn't start looking even more barren than it started. I spent the rest of the day chopping and then got another surprise. This is my first time seeing the BSL shaders Aurora at night, and it is stunning. I'm genuinely staggered at how lovely Minecraft can be sometimes. But I couldn't fully enjoy it because the strays were out, so it was time to sleep. I woke up to a sled thief, but I took care of business. I think it might be time to upgrade my tools because we have a lot more chopping to do. So I headed to this hill and grabbed all the coal I saw and got my stone tools. I decided to explore the cave a bit more, but a lot of it was underwater, so it was door time. I have found a lot of times if you just dig down, some of these smaller aquifers open up into bigger caves. I'm hoping to get enough iron to gear up completely. I heard a zombie, which means there has to be a cave somewhere around here. Dig down, find a cave, works every time. Not guaranteed. I took care of a few mobs and then got to work mining the iron. This ended up being a nice big cave, but in a very manageable shape, kind of a long tunnel, and it was full of iron. 52 iron ore later, I dug my way up out of the cave, marked the way back down with some cobble and a torch. Now I'll be able to swim down to deep slate super quick and easy. Back at the base, I started cooking my iron, and while that was smelting, I terraformed a bit to create a space for the cabin. I also decided to farm some big spruce with my favorite platform trick so that those can grow while I'm shoveling. The morning of day 3, I kept on terraforming, and look at how this spruce tree grew. Have you ever seen such a thing? The leaves came down below the base of the trunk. This is so weird. I chopped it down and it was back to terraforming. In fact, I spent the rest of the day terraforming and chopping. By the end of the day, I had finished the space for the cabin and had this much spruce. And now it's time for the cabin foundation. And for that, I needed more cobblestone. I found this little exposed cave, lit it up, and started mining. Once I had a few stacks, I sledded back to my base. I am loving this sled so much. And now it's time to lay the foundation of the cabin. I do plan on mixing in some other stone variants, but at the moment it's all cobble. And there it is, a nice cobble box. I do want to use the underneath space for maybe some farms, so we'll add a doorway here and dig this out. I'm doing spruce planks for the floor of the cabin. We don't want a mob farm in here, so let's light it up. I really want a front porch for the cabin, so we'll bring these planks out 3 deep and add a fence detail underneath for support with slabs for the stairways up. Part of the mod pack is that snow behaves a little differently, and honestly for the better. So it will even cover up partial blocks like the slab and apparently show up under some random fences. Well, even though it's more of a platform and less of a cabin, I think we can start to move in. And now for the walls. I'm going with stripped spruce logs, which is expensive in the sense that it did require time growing and chopping the big spruce, but I think it will look nice for a log cabin. And now for the best part. And that's wall 1 complete. Let's pop out some windows, and I actually think I want to define the doorway a little bit more. That's better. Luckily for us, the river floor does spawn with sand and clay pockets, so this will let us have glass and bricks for a later build. I'm going to get that smelted up while I work on the rest of the walls. And I was today years old when I learned you can hold down click to strip multiple logs in a row. You don't have to click each one. I think because I came from an iPad, I am just so used to having to click every single thing every single time. Now that I've got all my windows popped out, I think I'm going to replace the logs with the 6-sided wood to make it a little tidier looking. And there's our little box of a cabin. I moved the rest of my stuff inside and decided I could take the time to sled around and see what else was nearby. I found another village that had an igloo and a second sled. The weird invisible chest granted me some loot, and this igloo had one of those villager rooms, so I decided to heal the zombified one. Maybe they'll come in handy if we decide to go for silk touch or mending or something. After a quick splashing and eating, I ran around and looted the village. I stole these barrels, harvested their crops, and nabbed all their lanterns. I was about to sled away when I got the zombie doctor achievement, and now I have villagers ready for jobs when and if the time comes. I truly love sledding around this world. I think the sled would be a really nice addition to vanilla Minecraft for those of us who struggle to do ice boating. Back at home, I used the bones we got from the invisible sled chests for white dye to make white glass panes for my windows. The white glass panes look frosty and will be perfect for a wintry base. The falling snow also definitely gives wintry vibes too. And here's the mod pack putting snow on the fence. That is so cute. Frosted window panes, they just look so nice. Now this cabin will be 2 stories with an attic up top, so let's get the stairs set up. I popped my stolen barrels under the stairs and did a little organizing, and then got to work getting the beams and the floor/ceiling installed. The next thing I want to do is get the fireplace set up. I'm going to do a cobblestone mix just like the foundation. Some iron bars so we don't walk into the fire. I think I want the mantle a little lower. I also want to have a second fireplace upstairs. Now to try to make this look decent. And since we have the stone bricks, we can sprinkle them into the foundation. And with the stairs and slab, the upstairs fireplace is also looking cute. Now that the walls are in, we need to do the roof, and I want deep slate for it. So I am prepping for a cave adventure, making room in my inventory, making sure I have food and torches, and ready to sled over to the cave. Now we have our waterway straight down. This is so nice and easy. This is probably my favorite kind of cave. It feels very manageable and safe once it's lit up. I'll also be grabbing any iron I see because it's always nice to have plenty of iron, and I also want redstone. That is for later as well, and it's not what you think. I'm not doing redstone. I think I spy deep slate level. Ooh. Made it down to the deep slate. Just outside this little hole I've dug is scary, scary darkness, so I think I'll just make a sort of deep slate mine right here and get it all that way. I love this day tracker mod. It's so helpful when you're down in a cave. We've got about 6 stacks of deep slate. Hopefully that's enough. Time to make our way back to the cabin and get to roofing. Somehow my waterway up disappeared, but I struggled my way back up through the bucket of water climbing method, and thank goodness we'll never have to do that again. The roof will be a mix of deep slate blocks, stairs, and slabs, and I've got my handy stone cutter to help me get my blocks. I think for this roof shape, I'm going with a gambrel barn roof style. That looks really good. And now we're just going to pull the full block beam across the top and fill in the rest of the roof all the way across. I also plan to have a porch roof of spruce that sort of connects directly to the deep slate brick roof, so let's get that started. It's just a row of stairs and 2 rows of slabs spanning the whole house. Let's have a look. Oh, it's so cozy already, and we're not even done. I unfortunately have run out of deep slate bricks, but I did want to add a couple dormer windows, and that should give me back a few brick blocks, so let's work those in now. I marked out where I want them with dirt, and now I'm going to make them completely out of spruce to break up all this deep slate on the front of the house. I knew it felt like someone was watching me. So I think this is a good shape, and now I'm just going to connect it to the roof like this. That looks nice. We'll have to get more deep slate bricks to make this interior wall look a bit better. Now to make the next one match. Now that those are done, I can hopefully fill in the back of the roof. So close. I'll just pop in these cobbled deep slate ones and say it was a roof patch or something. It feels so cold in this cabin with these upper walls incomplete. I do need more spruce logs, so time for some chopping. Filling in the wall. It's a little dark in here, so let's pop out some windows. And now for the best part. Double checking my work that I didn't miss any logs. That looks great. Let's get our frosted window panes upstairs. Very frosty. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this fireplace, so that's why I've been avoiding it. I think maybe if I just put all the columns up and then do the walls, then I can have a peek at what it looks like from the outside and go from there once it's day. Best part again. And maybe 2 little windows on the side as well. Okay, so this is what we're working with. I think maybe some stairs will help ease it upwards, and maybe we could even add some thickness to the base as well. Plus, I do want to extend it upward above the roof line. Okay, that looks a bit better to me. Now we got to add the height. Okay, this is looking good. Just to add trapdoors. Oh, I fell. And bam. Okay, that looks good. The bare bones of the cabin is done. We have a home to keep us warm and safe from the snow. That being said, there is snow inside still, so time to get rid of that. Now, the stairs have snow, but I can't shovel it off. But I don't want it to stay snowy. Maybe if I break it and replace? Okay, that works. Look at me. I'm like a little snow shoveler. And done. Now we can work on some walls and make this a little bit more functional. I do love me some barrels under the stairs. I added some lanterns upstairs and used up my deep slate brick slabs to fill in this wall. Back downstairs, we're all set with our barrel wall. I'm going to add another wall here to sort of create a kitchen area for all my workbenches and like my functional area. Okay, and here's my kitchen workspace. I've got 2 furnaces, a stone cutter, a composter, and my crafting bench, plus additional storage up above. Now that I have my wall of barrels, it's time to organize. That feels so much better to have everything organized and plenty of room for more too. I finished lighting it up and slept upstairs for the first time in our cabin. I put out some cut copper stairs as seating for the porch and as a couch by the fireplace. That will oxidize down to a lovely aqua color, which will look very nice with the spruce. For my next build, I'm going to need a lot of glass and brick blocks, so it's time to head under the frozen lake to dig up all the sand and clay, and I did that the rest of the day. As I'm watching my sand and clay cook, I think it might help to make some additional furnaces and double my output. Much better. And while that was smelting, I got to work on my basement potato farm. First things first, I want some campfires down there so that I can get some quick baked potatoes whenever I want. And for that, I needed to chop down more spruce. I added in some stairs to make the entrance a little bit nicer and replaced all of the dirt in the walls with stone variants and all of the stone in the floor with dirt. The width of the house was the perfect size for a farm plot, and I've got all my potatoes planted and placed down some campfires for easy cooking. And of course, while I was doing that, I kept my eye on the glass and brick production, and it looks like we might need to make a coal run soon as I'm running really low. I headed back out towards my cave area and decided to search the water cave part of it for coal. The help of my trusty doors, of course. There were a ton of little nooks and crannies I discovered throughout the cave, including this one that was a shocker. That was so unexpected, and why don't I have a bed? Why is my bed obstructed? Oh, there's my house. Okay. I did not expect to get blown up in an underwater cave. I grabbed a new axe and a pick and some more doors and headed back to get my stuff. Luckily, it wasn't too hard to find, and now we have a mine shaft to explore. The first minecart gave me my first diamonds, along with a name tag and some food, which I was missing from the explosion. I grabbed whatever coal I could see and found another minecart with beetroot seeds, along with melon, another name tag, and lapis. I spent some more time exploring and mining coal, but I was out of food and it was getting a little dicey, so I headed out of there and drowned on the way out. But I know exactly where I was, so that was an easy recovery mission. That should be enough coal to smelt our clay and sand. And good thing we got those potatoes going because I think we're out of food. Baked potato hot off the fire. Delicious. I have no idea what I was thinking bringing my bed with me, but we are putting it back right now. Signs of an Enderman. So messy. Back to that sand and clay grind for the rest of the day and the following day. I decided I wanted white glass for the greenhouse, and hopefully I could produce enough potatoes to have food and some extra for bone mealing so I can make white dye. I think I need about 8-ish stacks of white glass, so we have a ways to go. While potatoes are growing and sand and clay are cooking, it's time to start laying out the greenhouse raised beds. I decided to put it pretty close by the cabin, and with the location I chose, we do have some terraforming to do. And terraform we did. Of course, also making my brick blocks and dyeing the glass, all in preparation for the greenhouse build. We are definitely going to need more brick blocks, so it's back to clay gathering under the frozen lake. After days of smelting, it looks like we're out of coal again, so I think it's back to the cave in the morning. On the way, I saw a spider jockey and happily took those bones for my bone meal, and then got to work mining that coal. Back at home, it's time to refuel my furnaces, dye some more glass with the jockey bones, and potato meal. The next morning, I thought it would be fun to start a ginger farm with the ginger I got from the bugged sled chest. Thinking about the sled chest reminded me that I got a bunch of bones from that as well, and so I think my white dye problem is solved. Yep, that looks like plenty of glass for the greenhouse. I went out to the farm plot and prepped it for planting, but the ginger would not plant. I tried in hoed ground and regular grass and no luck. I did use the JEI mod to look at what items I could craft with the ginger, and it looks like we can make gingerbread blocks, doors, trapdoors, cookies, but I think I need the wild plant to be able to grow more, so we can figure something out to do with the ginger later. I did get the beetroot seeds planted. I know it's not super useful, but I do think beet farms are the prettiest farms in vanilla Minecraft. Behind the beets, I planted wheat seeds because it looks like some of the ginger recipes do require wheat. And next to the beets, I did another potato plot because even though there's one under the house, the Snuffles eat baked potatoes, just like me. And I definitely want to have a Snuffle enclosure in this world. And I think maybe carrots in the last plot if we have any or get any. I can't remember if I ate them all. I still need more clay, so I went to the far end of the lake to dig up the rest of the available clay from this lake. It started snowing near the end of the day and my brick supply was looking pretty good. I began building the greenhouse with the storage barrels and trap doors for the raised beds first. Had to chop some more spruce for that. And the next day we were ready for the exterior. This build is very simple. It's just bricks and white glass. I laid out the base outline first, which is just a rectangle, and the front wall is just more squares and rectangles, which we will fill in with the white glass. I spent the rest of the day building the side walls and the back. Because the build is so boxy and rectangular, I'm going to do a bit of a rounded roof, which hopefully will mirror the cabin nicely. I want to expand my crops as they grow, but it looks like this water is freezing over, so I will have to figure out what I can do to prevent that from happening. I started on the roof a little bit, but realized I had run completely out of coal, so it was back to the cave-in area to grab just enough to finish smelting all the clay. When I got back to my sled, this little guy had gotten in. Oh, he's so cute. And I think he's definitely coming home with me. He can be our first Snuffle, so we'll have to think of a name. And once the greenhouse is done, we can work on a little enclosure for him and maybe even get him some friends. I fueled the furnaces and then spent probably too much time trying to get the greenhouse roof to look right. I think it was too steep at first. I really wanted like a more round shape. I don't really think this works either. Back to the drawing board. I'm really trying so hard to make myself build roofs myself instead of looking at roof guides on Pinterest or YouTube. It's the only way I'll really learn and have the satisfaction of knowing that I built something all on my own. So we will get this right. I just hope it doesn't take the rest of the 100 days. Okay, I think I've got it right this time. And so I spent the day reshaping the roof. Yes, that looks so much better. Aw, we really need a name for this guy. I am running low on bricks and glass, so I'm going to fill in as much as I can with what I have, and then we're going to have to get some more clay, sand, and coal to finish this build. Every time I have to break a glass, it hurts my soul just a little bit. Maybe I should work on an enchanting setup or try to get a silk touch villager. That sounds like a future me problem. I'm hoping that glass counts as a roof so that my water for the crops will stop freezing over. Beetroots are just the prettiest crop. Oh, I love them. Okay. This wheat is technically covered, so hopefully this one will stay unfrozen as well. The next day, it was time for some more resource gathering, so I got more potatoes on the fire and headed to a section of the frozen river that I know I haven't excavated yet. I gathered all the clay, but alas, we are also out of coal. I did notice that the area of river I was in led deeper into an underwater ravine, and I figured there might be some coal in there. It was very dark and I found iron before I found coal, but eventually I did find coal. I also may have drowned trying to get out of the ravine. It's hard when all of the water freezes over all the time. But I was able to get all my stuff back and start cooking my clay. I expanded the crops and filled in the gaps in the roof. And then I could light it up and add some potted plants as well. I think it would look nice to add a trellis or some hanging vines in the future as well to this area. Also, I did not know that you could put torches in the big pots like this. I just tried it on a whim and was so surprised that it actually worked. That is so cute. I want to build an enclosure for our Snuffle And I think for the fence, I want warped wood, that sort of teal colored one. And for that, we need the nether. I have recently learned how to make a portal with a bucket of water at a lava pool. However, in all the explorations we've done in this world, I have not seen a single lava pool. So I'm thinking maybe we could farm lava if I could find one lava source and then some dripstone. I don't know, but we also will need a diamond pickaxe if we're going to do it that way, and I only have 2 diamonds to my name at the moment, so I think it's time for another big caving adventure. Our nice cave that we have definitely gets bigger and deeper, and we never made it much lower than the very start of deep slate level, so I'm sure there's plenty of diamonds down there. We've got to stock up on food and bring some spare iron as well, and of course, I'm going to grab any coal I see so we can light it up really well. And after I placed a few torches, I realized I had forgotten a crucial ingredient to this expedition: wood. So it was back to the surface where I spotted some close by trees, but I also spotted a ruined portal. And maybe that could be the ticket to the nether? It wasn't too bad. I just need to remove this 1 crying obsidian and place 4 regular to complete it. There wasn't any obsidian in the chest, but there was random obsidian in the ground. And I could also take the bottom corners out of the ruined portal, and that would make us a completed portal. Now I really need the diamond pickaxe. Back to the cave. I lit it up, killed a bunch of mobs. I even tried using snowballs. It seems like it hurts them, but it definitely does not kill them. I mined a lot of ores and came out of there with 11 diamonds. So we have our diamond pickaxe, and tomorrow we can go to the nether. I'm scared. The day is here. It's time for the nether. I got my things organized, hopped onto my spare sled, and headed to the portal. On the way to the mountain, I stumbled upon this exposed spawner, like way up here. What is this? It looks like skellies. The loot was okay, saddles and horse armor. Not sure we even have horses in this world, honestly. I will use the gold for trading, though. I mined up the random obsidian near the portal, removed the crying obsidian, and took the corners to complete this portal. I'm really hoping for a warped forest to spawn because that's mainly what I need, though it would be nice to get some nether wart for another build I have planned. Let's find out what we got. Ooh, crimson and fortress. That's wild. All I'm seeing is crimson everywhere, and then the fortress. I decided to go to the fortress to see if I could get the nether wart, and maybe from there I could see some other biomes. It was a little perilous getting down there, but I was brave, and I did get to use my boat trick, which I do adore being able to use. I ran all around the fortress, putting down torches and putting up wither skelly rails, so I always had somewhere to run for safety. The loot was nice, especially when I got nether wart from this chest. That was a bonus, though I still do need soul sand to grow it at home, so we needed to keep going to find that stairway room that has the nether wart patch, which was right around the corner. Yes. And after some more exploring, I found another one. I took on some blazes because it might be nice to have some potions. I made my way back to where we boated in and could not see any other biome in any direction. I decided it would be best to head back home, drop off what we had found so far before adventuring further trying to find the warped forest. Back at the portal, it looks like there may be some other biomes off in the distance, the opposite direction of the fortress that we would have to carefully bridge to. Gosh, this sled is so fun. I wish I could have this in vanilla Minecraft. I really like the sled. Even though it's a little crowded down here, I made some nether wart farm beds so I can start growing my own down in the basement. I organized all my new nether things, and then it was back to the nether to search for some warped forest. This little baby hoglin keeps pestering me, and I really don't want to kill it. But I'm going to have to bridge, and I'm so scared it's just going to knock me off into lava, so I had to do it. It feels bad. I bridged across and kept to the heights to try to avoid the big hoglins and stuck towards the direction I had seen the potential other biomes. I broke through my tunnel and saw more crimson and nether waste, and then I saw the tiniest warped biome ever. I was disappointed until I looked slightly up and saw there was much more biome and made my way there. It wasn't a huge warped forest, but I took as much wood as I could. Plus, now we have a direct path there, and we could come back and grow more if we really needed to. I think that's enough nether for a while. Time to head home. We did it. Now, using my nether rack, I'm just laying out the shape for my igloo style enclosure for the Snuffles. I think this looks like a good size. It's so cute how they eat baked potatoes. I don't know why I find that like so adorable. Speaking of potatoes, I decided to bake some more and then expand the nether wart farm. I'm going to use red nether brick for a future build, and for that I need nether wart. The igloo, on the other hand, needs snow blocks, so on my way to collect them, I got creeper bombed. My beautiful cabin. Okay, that's pretty well fixed. I definitely need it to snow so it can match the rest of the house. I traveled a bit out of the way so my snow collection wouldn't be ugly near the house. When I remembered you could just do a snow golem to get snow even faster and without ruining the landscape. So I grabbed a pumpkin and headed back home. I think I'm doing this right. I have a block underneath that's not easy to shovel, and I'm trapping the golem with these iron bars. And there we go. Oh my gosh, this is giving so much snow. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Like, how does one whack with a shovel end your life? The next day, I started replacing the netherrack with snow blocks, but I can tell I'm going to need more snow. And spent the next couple of days shoveling and crafting and building, and by day 49, the igloo was complete. I really like the shape of this. Almost time to move in, little guy. Now we've got to fence the area in. This is why I wanted the warped wood. It will look so nice with the snow blocks, very chilled, very frosty. This little dirt pile has got to go. It is in the way. I'm not really going for a symmetrical look, just sort of a roundish vibe. Okay, and that's my sign to go to bed. Time for more fencing. But first I gotta check now if I have any sneaky porch creepers. Okay, coast looks clear. The fence is finished, and OMG, there is another porch creeper. They're so sneaky. I'm going to add in some gates so we can easily get the Snuffles in as we find them. For the lighting for the Snuffle enclosure, I want to keep it very cold and frosty, so we're going to need soul sand for the blue lanterns and blue campfires. I know for sure that there was some soul sand in the fortress, and I'm not seeing any close by to the portal, so let's just head back to the fortress. Okay, and this is the soul sand room I remember seeing. I just have to get these blazes out of here. This is actually a really safe way to get soul sand. I feel very protected. I'm taking as much as I can because even though it is smooth getting here, I don't want to have to come back anytime soon. I don't think sledding down this hill will ever get old. I have a special resource pack that's going to make the Snuffle area look extra cute, but for that I need cyan dye. And for that, I need green dye. And for that, I need a cactus, which you might think is impossible in this biome. But at the bottom of some igloos, there's that little setup that teaches you how to cure villagers. And in that setup, there's always a cactus in a pot. So we just need to find an igloo and hope that it has one of those little villager setups at the bottom. I know we already found one earlier, but I don't remember where that is. So I'm just going to go around and look for more igloos. Okay, there's a village. Ooh, and just over there is an igloo. And it has a sled, which I learned the chests are bugged, but if we break it, we get all the chest contents. Ooh, we got candy canes. That's so cute. I wonder what we can do with them. Does it have the secret room? It does. And there's my cactus. I found a ruined portal that had a silk touch hoe, and I think that means I can collect ice with it, which might be nice to have to decorate in the snowy biome. Back at the house, putting away all of our loot, it looks like we also got a special music disc called A Carol from the Snowy Spirit mod, so I definitely need to remember to play that before this 100 days is over. Now, as much as I want to, because I just need one cyan dye, I don't think we should cook this cactus. I think we should grow it so we can always have more green dye if needed. This secondary wheat plot isn't really necessary, so I'm just going to add the cactus back here, and that should set us up just fine. Now while we wait for that to grow, let's start moving in more Snuffles. They are so cute, and I hope they like their enclosure so much. At least it's better than living on the sled, right? Okay, they're in. And oh, we have our first baby. He's so boxy and cute. I love it so much. This is honestly like, please, can we have this mod in regular vanilla Minecraft? Wouldn't that make like snowy biomes so much more fun if these little guys were just out there walking around with their big tongues? I'm gonna grab a few things to add to the enclosure for the Snuffles, like maybe a little pile of snow blocks they can climb on, and I'll put a trough here, but instead of water, it'll have ice in it because I'm like imagining that they like to like lick ice to get their moisture. I don't know. But what I do know is if I put water in there, it's going to freeze. I'm also going to add a feed bin. I know they eat baked potatoes, but maybe if we kind of squint, this will look like a bin full of potatoes instead of hay. I really need that cyan dye, but the cactus has not grown yet. I also added a snow golem to make sure the Snuffles always have snow inside the igloo as well. It's time to light up this enclosure. I think the soul lanterns look so cool and frosty. It's perfect Snuffle lighting. And my cactus still hasn't grown. Am I doing something wrong? It seems so slow. Time to bake some more potatoes, and I think I might rearrange the nether wart while I'm baking them. Sometimes I just come here and stare at this cactus, willing it to grow, and it hasn't worked yet. I wanted to show a little bit more of the Snuffles and what they provide. So you can shear them, and you get this block called Frosty Fluff. It's a really pretty block that's white with streaks of blue, and if you place it with air underneath it, it creates this really pretty snowfall effect. Isn't that gorgeous? I think too, right at the entrance of the igloo looks really nice. I'm shearing a few wild Snuffles because the fluff does seem to take quite a while to grow back, but we can also craft the fluff into carpets. And look, they're so cute. They look really fluffy, and they also have this really nice like fringe around the edge. I really, really like this carpet style. Every night I bake potatoes and harvest netherwort, and this night I expanded the farm further to help with the next build. Oh yeah, I forgot. Here's the dried frosty fluff. This is called Snuffle Fluff. I'm just gonna stick it in the corner for now, just so it's displayed. The cactus grew! Yes! I'm gonna have to replace the rest of this wheat with sugarcane because I'm going to want bookshelves and a lectern for my next build. Because this cactus took such a long time to grow, I'm actually gonna force myself to wait for the cool thing that I need the cyan dye for and plant it. I can fit 4 cactuses here, and that should be enough to keep up with any cactus needs we might have in the future. Is the igloo glitched? I can see through it. Oh no, it was a creeper. Oh, I forgot. They fight with snow golems. Oh my gosh, all the Snuffles are loose. I lured the Snuffles back into their pen and I locked them in there and then got to collecting all of the dirt and the snow I need to fix the igloo. Oh no, the Snuffles are escaping. Okay, it looks like they can kind of leap and walk on each other from the troughs over the fence. I have got to relocate all of this. Excuse me, baby. I think I need to move the ice trough as well. Here's the beginnings of our fluffy rug. Doesn't that look so cozy next to the fire? Well, it will look more cozy once we have a bigger rug. The next morning, I filled the creeper hole. There were 2 now, and rebuilt the walls. And now we can begin gathering all of the materials we will need for our next build in the Snowy Plains. We need a lot of spruce, but it's not a totally spruce build. You'll see. Of course, my axe broke at the tippy top of this tree. The cactus farm is expanding, and we've got the sugarcane going as well. This is probably the most functional greenhouse I've ever done in Minecraft because these literally can't grow out in the open because of the freezing temperatures. And weirdly, it feels really warm when I walk in here. I'm very pleased with like the whole vibe of this greenhouse. And just like every night before bed, it's baked potato cooking and netherwort tending time. I did take the next cactus I got for green dye so I could get 1 cyan wool. It was time to reopen the igloo and place my wool with a campfire on top and nothing. I'd forgotten to add them on. And even worse, when I went to install it, I stopped recording and I forgot to start it up again. So let me catch you up. The mod is called Smoke Signals, and when you place a campfire on the colored wool, it both extends the distance the smoke will climb And it changes the smoke color to match the color of the wool. Is that not the cutest thing? It looks so good as part of the Snuffle enclosure. I also laid down the outline of the next build right over here next to the cabin, and I captured a few villagers to do some trading with. They can be put in the sled just like a boat, which was really awesome, and they were so easy to move this way. This one is the librarian, and the next build is for him. And this guy is a Fletcher, and I'm using him for stick trades to get more emeralds. And now you're all caught up. I spent the rest of the day working on the library. This is a very small build, and I decided to mix things up a bit and build it out of chiseled bookshelves. Since we really only have access to spruce wood in this world, using functional blocks like bookshelves or composters is one way to bring in other wood tones to the area. I also made use of that cactus to do a cute green and red checkerboard window. I had a box by the end of the day, and then it was potato and netherwort time. I'm also adding cactus and sugarcane harvesting to my nighttime routine. Our little area is coming together nicely and... Oh no! They converted to zombies. Okay, that's okay actually, because I can get even better trades once I convert them back. I know I have a golden apple in here, so we can save at least one, and I'll need a brew stand, which I do have enough rods to make one. Oh no, they're dead! I forgot about the sun. No, only the zombies survived. Oh no. Let's just pop this up here for safekeeping. I guess we'll have to get more villagers at some point, but maybe after the library is done. Walking on my fluffy sparkle rug will make me feel a little bit better. Back to building. I built for the rest of the day until I ran out of spruce, so I ended the day with more chopping. The next day I finished the main walls and trapped myself in the attic. I'm trapped. Problem solved. The roof line is just going to be the standard stair, upside down stair style, outlined with spruce. I built myself a way up to the attic so we can do that main part of the roof. And the main part is going to be red nether brick stair, which is why we needed all of that netherwort. I think the red is a nice pop of color amongst all this snow and icy blue and spruce and oak colors. But it's not like in your face red. I don't have quite enough red nether brick stairs to finish filling in the roof, but I am doing a little spruce stair topper, and I know I'll have more netherwort to harvest soon to finish the roof. I had spent some of yesterday working on the interior. It's very cozy in here, but what I really love is how the light from the windows comes in the morning. It's all soft red and green. It's very pretty. This is looking nice. I would like more books for sure, and more bookshelves, and maybe a few more lecterns. The little red rug is a nice tie-in to the roof, and of course we need to light it. For the outside, I think a scattering of potted plants will be nice. I chose poppies, red mushroom, cactus, and spruce saplings, as those all kind of tie into the red and green theme of the build. I had to take a couple days to go back to the caves for more copper as we were running low. I, of course, couldn't leave this iron behind, but I managed to stay focused on my copper goal, along with coal to be able to smelt the copper, and a little redstone, which we do need later for decor. I also found 2 spawners on this caving trip. And best of all, I found a geode, which I will need amethyst shards for fun decor later on. I took as many as were ready to be collected. By the time I got back, it was night and snowing, but I wanted to show a cute little thing the Snuffles do when they come back into the snow after being sheared. This one in the middle isn't frosty anymore. You can see he's a cream color and his tongue is more pinky, like reddish pinky, but get him into the falling snow. He does this cute little shake and he's frosty again. These little guys are so adorable. Back at the little library, I think we should break up some of this wall. It's like too much oakiness. The copper grates will look really nice here. And we've finally got enough red nether bricks to finish the roof. It's exactly enough. And here's the little library pretty much complete. I added in some copper steps and a graded walkway to the door. That way the copper in the upper wall is reflected down below, and it really ties into the terracotta of the pots as well. Then I decided to add a little outdoor seating area complete with a mural on the wall. That looks really nice. For lighting, I'm going to do a campfire under a grate to sort of provide ambient heating and light to this area. It's pretty popular with the locals at night. Well, now's the time that we need to venture forth and find more villages. Ideally, I'd like to get a new villager for the library, find some cows to bring back so we can make more books, or at least a library we can tear down for books and lecterns. It would also be cool to find some more sleds with loot if possible, so we've got to keep an eye out for igloos. At my third village, I lucked out and found a library, so we stole all the books and the lectern and moved on. I see an igloo! Oh my gosh! Oops. And no sled. Village number 4 had 2 cows. This is perfect. Now, we are quite a bit away from home, but with being able to lead boats now and my cool sled, this should be no problem at all. I put the cows in a boat, attached the lead, got on my sled, and we were on our way. This is awesome. Oh. Okay, well, that didn't work at all. I guess I'm gonna have to walk the boat back. To lift them up this hill, I decided to stack up, and then this happened. With 1 cow dead, we wouldn't be able to breed them, but maybe I could find another cow on the way back? And then this happened. I was so far away from home and on half a heart, and I really didn't want to die out here. So we cut our losses and ran. Village number 5 had a horse, which I did not think horses could be in this world. But I didn't have a saddle because I never picked one up because I didn't think I needed it. I truly didn't think I would ever see a horse in this world. There were more cows at village number 6, but I had learned my lesson about moving cows long distances, so I just took their leather and left. Village number 8 seemed really looted, and then I realized that's because it's the closest one to our base, so I destroyed this guy's career and moved him to the library. I waited for him to connect to the lectern, but he just kept on being creepy. Once I got him in, I re-rolled him like dozens of times until we got Silk Touch, and I thought that might be nice to have. It was a little expensive, and I remembered how my other villagers had been zombified, so maybe we could do the same to him, but safely, so he wouldn't burn in the day. There, now he's all covered. I just need a zombie. Come, meet my friend. Yes, it worked. No, he's dying. I could not have handled that if he died. I started the healing process and boxed him in so he would be totally protected no matter what. Now we just have to wait. And he's healed, and he's not a librarian anymore. Okay. It's fine. That's fine. Let's just make him a Fletcher so we can stick trade for emeralds instead. None of this has been going as I planned. Okay, there's the stick trade, and it has a little bit of a discount, so I'll take it. Of course, I'm out of sticks and wood in general, so let's take a chopping break. All right, the trade is locked in. And speaking of locked in, let's lock this guy in this library forever. It is time for the next build for our wintry base, and I want to have a sort of shed / garage to store the sleds in. For this build, I'll be using clay blocks, calcite, and diorite for the main walls, and that means more clay collecting. I have a super cute build I want to do for this base, and it has to have a little bit of light gray terracotta, and I'm realizing there's no flowers except poppies and dandelions. And absolutely no squid ever spawn in these rivers. I've spent a lot of time down here digging up sand and clay, and I've never seen a squid. I'll have to see if there's like another way to get light gray dye. Another feature of the Snowy Spirits mod is the string lights that we can craft, which is why I was happy to find that geode and get some shards. Well, we'll have to go back to the nether for glowstone and do some spider hunting to be able to make these lights, but I'm excited to see what they look like. Time to begin prepping for the garage build, first by flattening the land. And getting our materials together. And even though I had done a big copper collection for some bits of the library, I still need even more for the roof of this build. I tried the next mountain over from our normal mountain and ended up finding a ton of copper and coal. And instead of sleeping the night away, we're going to fish the night away because I did look it up and we can possibly fish ink sacks as junk loot. So ink sack into black dye combined with 2 white dyes from bone meal, and we would have our light gray dye. No luck the first night for ink sacks. We don't need copper to start the build at least, so here's the layout. We've got stone brick pillars with a clay wall. I think I'm going to mix in calcite that we got from the geode and maybe some polished diorite in the walls. I kind of like it, but maybe the diorite should be more of like a foundation block. Oh yeah, that's better. I really enjoy the color of clay so much in Minecraft. I wish we had more tints and tones of colors in Minecraft. I mostly mixed in the calcite here because I had it. Otherwise, I think I would have needed to gather even more clay. More nighttime ice hole fishing. No luck again. I would even take one, please, Minecraft, please. Look, it's so cold here. The water freezes over like really fast. I had 2 creeper attacks this morning. My goodness. But then we were able to get back to work on the garage. I'm putting the copper roof in unoxidized, but for this build, I envisioned it being fully oxidized. Hopefully it gets there by the end of the 100 days. A little bit of white glass for the windows, quite a lot of copper trapdoor details later, and this day is done. More nighttime fishing. I'm making the hole bigger in the hopes it won't all freeze over in the night. Man, no luck again. Sad. The garage roof is outlined in stone brick stairs and will be filled in with the copper that will eventually oxidize. For the shape, I'm going slightly rounded, sort of modified barn roof, stone bricks all the way across, and match the shape on this side, and a cute little overhang with some planter boxes as night falls. Now, can you dual wield fishing rods to like double my chances? Guess not. It was worth a try. And another night with no ink sac luck. Back at the garage, I got to work on a bit of interior with this loft area up above and adding in the upper walls. Now my nights are spent fishing, hoping for that precious ink, but because that's what I've been doing, the phantoms came for me. So I prepped for the next day to get copper, quartz, and glowstone and went to bed. I found that just popping into any exposed cave on the little hills all around us always had some copper, and I never see a coal that I don't mine. Then, as night fell, it was time to go back to the nether. I found a big patch of glowstone, but I had to bridge out to it and make a little platform. It was only slightly scary. And we grabbed some quartz from near the portal and headed back home. On the way back, I saw a patch of spiders, and we do need string as well for the hanging lights, so I had to fight them. I put the copper to smelt, and then it was right back to ice hole fishing. Still no ink sacs. I got desperate enough to try some day fishing as well, especially because I need all that copper to smelt anyway, but no luck again. The copper for the garage roof is supposed to be fully oxidized, so I thought I'd put it down on the ice to hopefully help speed it up a bit. And then it was right back to fishing. While waiting for the copper to age, I planted the flowers in their boxes and made a path from the garage to the house. I decided to do regular old path blocks because I believe snow can't land on it. Any other beautiful, nice path design we might do would just get covered up the next time it snows. And it snows fairly frequently here. I dug out the floor for the garage. I think I'm just going to put stone down here. But first, more fishing. Back to the floor. I picked up all the copper that had aged even a little bit to start filling in the roof. Hopefully it ages in time. That night, I wanted to try out some of the decor things that we have in the Snowy Spirits mod and the Nightlight mod. I went with white because that's the dye color we have the most of, but I can't figure out how to place them. Maybe this is like user error or another bug with the mod. I think these gingerbread doors and trapdoors would look so cute on our cabin. It looks like we need hay bales to make the blocks with the ginger we found in the sled loot. And I can combine sugar with dye to make these cutie little gumdrops. I made gumdrops of every color I had on hand. These are going to look so cute in our little area. Okay, is this door not the cutest? It looks so good with the cabin. Now I want the matching shutters, which is the gingerbread trapdoor. That is so cute. I really just want to finish the garage, so it's time to add in bookshelves and barrels, and of course, the sled can be parked in here now. And a little fence for the garage door. Even though this copper is still shiny and new, it's time to clear it out. I'll just use these ones for the back of the roof. Even though we don't have a lot of the gingerbread, I really want to incorporate it around the area, so I'm going to use it on the path here instead of copper. Doesn't a gingerbread slab sound delicious? Maybe I'm just hungry. I think that I could have made these candy canes into blocks if we had found more candy canes, but we only have 2, so I'm going to put one over the mantle. That is actually so adorable. Oh, no. There are 3 creepers in my garage. I guess they live there now. Except I don't want them exploding my garage. We gotta carefully lure the loose one out first. And then hack away at the two on the sled. Oh, thought he was gonna explode. Okay, that wasn't so terrible, but we are definitely lighting this place up. Plus a little more decor. And the garage is done. Since I can't figure out the Snowy Spirits lights, let's try making the night light mod lights instead. They are more expensive since they cost 6 string and 3 glowstone, so we can only make 1 for now. I'm very limited on string. OMG, they are so cute. I wish I had a million string because I want to put these lights everywhere. In the nights, I'm starting to decorate the interior a bit with a bright red rug for the kitchen and this little table and some potted plants. I think maybe a spruce garland would look really nice in the house as well. It's so cozy. I wonder if we can stick some of the gumdrops on the leaves and they'd look like little ornaments. Oh, I guess you can't. Since I want more string lights, I need to kill more spiders, but day came so fast, I only got 3 more string. For the next build, I need red concrete, so we got to work placing and breaking. So here's the layout for this build. This is going to be the potion brewing space, and it's going to be a big mug of hot cocoa. The main block is red concrete, but I'll be doing some shading with some of the nether blocks we got, like nether wart and red nether bricks. I ran out of concrete, but rifling through my cupboards, I remembered the gingerbread and I decided that this would be a great path to the villager instead of the copper, so I replaced all of that. Much cuter. I really love this frosted gingerbread block. Nighttime meant more spider killing because we still need more string, and we were able to craft 2 more string lights. Just 7 more to go. I wanted to trade with the villager because I need more emeralds for a future project, but he wouldn't come to the door. And I am never, ever opening that door because I cannot go through all of that villager nonsense again. So I just broke his window and traded that way. Very convenient. Time to dig more sand and gravel for concrete powder. And this should be enough to finish that mug. Time for spider killing. I hear a zombie. And somehow he's zombified. Grrr. 4 more string lights. We just need 3 more to finish. I need this nether wart for the mug, so we're going to have a slightly creepy glowing rug in the kitchen instead. This should be enough so we don't have to go back to the nether to get more. And now we have a cup, but I want a mug, so we need to add a handle. Just like this. And there it is. Mug. Of course, the floor is also red concrete since it's the bottom of a mug. I guess it's good timing that I'm building a potion brewing room since we have a villager to cure now. I have everything I need to fix him except for a mushroom. But I vaguely remember there being loads of mushrooms at the villages in this world. And hopefully our closest village has the brown ones because I tried the red and that did not work. Yes, they had them. I'm going to leave 1 just in case, but I'm taking the rest. 1, 2, 3. That way it can't happen again and we can still easily trade with him. And more string collecting. But then the phantoms came, so we'll just switch to an indoor activity like setting up the potion room. It turned out really cute and very, very red, but like, I don't hate it. I am super sad that I couldn't manage to fish an ink sac because light gray terracotta is the exact color of hot cocoa. So I guess we'll just make our cocoa with dirt and it will be steaming hot with a nice white smoke from the campfire. And of course, I can't forget the marshmallows. I added a leafy garland to the cabin. I think this will help the string lights pop out even a little bit more. God, so cute! Now, here's where all that redstone and emerald collection comes into play. I knew we wouldn't have easy access to wool in this world or possibly even green dye at all. So when I was thinking up Christmas decor for the buildings, I of course was thinking red and green. And redstone will always be available in any world that has normal cave generation. And emeralds will always be available in any world with villages. So here's what I came up with. It's that kind of so ugly it's cute type of thing. And I really like how the colors stand out against all the snow and spruce we have going on. I really, really like it. And we're going to add these to each build. So that does mean we are going to need to go mine more redstone at some point. Spiders, string lights. 1 more to go. I took down the last spruce platform and had enough redstone to add the Christmas flower decor to the library and the mug. And then it was time to head back to our big cave to get enough redstone to add the flowers to the greenhouse and the igloo. And kill whatever spiders I see along the way. Oh my gosh, it's a slime. I feel like I never see them anymore in the wild. And we can actually use slime balls for something to do with the Snuffles. This is awesome. We ended up with enough string from the cave to make the last string light and enough redstone to finish the flower decor on the last 2 builds. Things are really starting to come together now. I had sort of forgotten about these gumdrops because I couldn't place them on the leaves, but they can go on the ground, and I think they are a fun way to add some festive color to our build, so let's get to decorating. For the cabin, I went with red, lime, and white. They're like a mix of buttons and pressure plates, so it's kind of like you're squishing them down when you walk on them, and then they pop back up when you get off. For the Snuffles, I did light blue to keep it feeling frosty. The greenhouse got a mix of lime and green. The library got red, white, and lime, just like our cabin. And for the hot cocoa mug, it was all red. And then for the path to the garage, I wanted to do every color I had, just like colored Christmas lights. Oh, look, they're like a little bit translucent. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I love this pathway now. It's like my favorite path. And I can't forget to see the Snuffles now that we have slime balls. So in the Snuffles mod, slime acts like hair gel and it lets you cycle through 4 different hairstyles. It's so silly and I love it. I gave hairstyles to the rest of the Snuffles until I ran out of gel. I hope they like their new do's. We also have a little bit more ginger we can use up. I think these might look good by the hot cocoa mug, maybe like a cookie archway or something. Ooh, and maybe to hold lanterns on the path. I wonder if it would look cute to do a pumpkin head, sort of like a gingerbread man in the snow. No, it is not cute. I'll just put gumdrops on top. It is looking so good. I'm thinking maybe we need some trees around. I thought about doing some custom trees, but we are running out of time and the standard Minecraft spruce is actually the right height. So I'll just plant saplings instead. That looks good. I definitely want to add some more behind the greenhouse and the igloo as well. Back to having phantoms again, so it's more indoor activity time. I think we definitely need to do something with the bedroom. Starting with a cute candy cane above the fire, just like the fire below, and some gingerbread furniture. I think maybe hanging some of these glass panes like we hung some tinsel for Christmas. This room definitely needs a rug, and I'm thinking a big plush Snuffle fluff rug. So I sheared all the Snuffles and popped their fluff in the furnace to dry out. This area next to the garage is looking a little bare, and I thought it would be cute to add a simple Christmas tree here with a default spruce and maybe just a bit of red decor. I have one lone shroom light that I just popped on top as the Christmas star. The phantoms are hurting me, so let's put down a rug. It looks so cozy and plush, and I still love the fringe so much. I added the rest of my red gumdrops to the outside of the cabin and a few inside as well. And I ended up sleeping just so we can have one last phantom-free night. It is day 100. Woohoo! Oh my gosh, we only have this one day left to do any last details, starting with adding garlands to the bedroom, putting ornaments on the Christmas tree, and then extending the path all the way to the house. Oh, I really like the contrast of the path against the ice. I think I'm going to do paths to each build from the house to connect everything together. And of course, we're going to do path blocks so it doesn't get covered in snow. As I was working on the paths, a wandering trader arrived, and Christmas miracle, I kid you not, he's selling gray dye. I cannot believe he has this trade on the very last day. We can have hot cocoa in our mug instead of dirt. I'm so happy right now. I finished the paths all through the night and happily deleted the dirt in the mug. Literally at the last minutes of day 100, we got our hot cocoa just the way we wanted. And that wraps up 100 days, Snowy Plains, Winter Wonderland. If you made it this far, you are so sparkly and I love it. Thanks so much for watching.